Good evening to one and all present here. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, respected faculty members of the GNLU Gandhinagar, dear participants and students. I, Vikram Ambravanshi, on behalf of the organizing committee, welcome you all to the 13th edition of the Asian Criminology Conference at the esteemed Gujarat National Law University. I would like to begin by enunciating the translation of a famous Sanskrit Subhashita, illustrating the difference between food and knowledge. It says that the nourishment which food provides is only momentary, while the nourishment of knowledge fulfills us for eternity. As a distinguished educational institution, and to fulfill our noble ambition, the GNLU family is committed to being a leader in research and teaching. GNLU has been a pioneer in promoting a robust culture of research and innovation in law and allied fields. Today, we as an institution have the extraordinary honor of conducting the 13th Asian Criminology Conference. The Asian Criminology Society was established in 2009 and Macau with myriad objectives. That is, to promote the study of criminology and criminal justice across Asia, to enhance the cooperation in field of criminology and criminal justice by scholars and practitioners, to encourage communication between criminologists and criminal justice practitioners in Asia and the world through publications and conferences, and finally, to foster training and research in criminology and criminal justice in institutions of learning and in criminal justice agencies. Without any further delay, I would humbly invite Professor Dr. S. Shantakumar, Director, Gujarat National Law University, and the honorable dignitaries to mark the commencement of the inauguration ceremony of the 13th Asian Criminology Conference by lighting the lamp. Shubham Bhavatu. It is the university song, and its entire rendition spans for around 3 minutes and 15 seconds. I request all the honorable dignitaries and all the members present in this auditorium to kindly rise for the GNLU anthem.
Shubham Bhavatu,
Thank you, everyone. I would now kindly invite Professor Dr. S. Shantakumar, Director, Gujarat National Law University, to felicitate the dignitaries. Honorable Mr. Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, Mr. Arvind Kumar. Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Anjaria, Judge of Gujarat High Court. Professor Dr. Nirmal Kanti Chakrabarti, Vice Chancellor, the West Bengal National University of Juridical Sciences, Kolkata. Purvi Pokhriyal, Dean, School of Law, Forensic Justice and Policy Studies, National Forensic Sciences University, Gandhinagar. I would now call upon Professor Dr. Shanta Kumar, Director, Gujarat National Law University, for the welcome address.
Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, the Honorable Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Nilavi Anjaria, the Judge of Gujarat High Court, and our Honorable Member of our Governing Council and Executive Council of Gujarat National Law University, Professor Dr. Nirmal Chakrabarti, Vice Chancellor of NUJS Kolkata, Professor Dr. Tilak Raj, the President of the Asian Criminological Society, Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal, the Campus Director for National Forensic Sciences University and the Dean of School of Law and Forensic Sciences at the National Forensic Science University, Professor Anjani Tomar, my colleague and Head of Academic Affairs, Professor Vajpayee, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Kolkata, Professor Mehrajuli, former Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir, Professor Rawal, Dean Faculty of Law, Gujarat University, Professor Mallikarjun, Principal, KLE Law College, Bangalore, Professor Bhaskar Sundram, Vice Chancellor, IIIT Manipur, distinguished faculty colleagues at Gujarat National Law University, all the administrative staff and students who have been behind this conference, and all the esteemed participants who have traveled all the way from India and abroad. On behalf of Gujarat National Law University, it is my privilege and honor to welcome each one of you to this 13th Asian Criminology Conference on the theme Emerging Trends in Technology and its Impact on Law, Criminal Justice and Policy, which is being hosted today at Gujarat National Law University, Gandhinagar. At the outset, I wish to thank Professor Tilak Raj, the President of Asian Criminological Society, for having trust in us and for bestowing this wonderful opportunity to host this 13th Asian Criminology Conference at the Gujarat National Law University. On behalf of Gujarat National Law University and on behalf of the Asian Criminological Society, I deem it a honor to extend a very hearty welcome. The next 3 days are going to be wonderful in terms of the intellectual deliberation that is going to happen, especially on the impact of technology on the society, on law, on criminal justice administration system, and you will see amazing papers. I'm extremely happy to announce here that we have received more than 300 research papers to be presented in this conference, which is a huge record for a university to have a conference like this. And we are extremely grateful to each one of you for having traveled all the distance, both from India and abroad, for joining us in this conference. I once again take this opportunity to extend a very hearty welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir, for your heartwarming welcome address. I would now like to invite Dr. Anjani Singh Tomar, Head of Academic Affairs and Center for Research in Criminal Justice Sciences at Gujarat National Law University, Gandhinagar, and also the Organizing Secretary of the 13th Asian Criminology Conference, to give a formal introduction about the conference.
Thank you very much, Vikram. Vanakkam, namaste, and a very good evening to one and all present. I, on behalf of GNLU Center for Research in Criminal Justice Sciences, and my own behalf, would like to welcome all of you. Honorable Justice Shri Arvind Kumar, Chief Justice of High Court, Gujarat. Honorable Justice Shri N.V. Anjaria, Judge High Court of Gujarat. Honorable Professor Dr. S. Shantakumar, Director, GNLU and Gujarat Maritime University. Honorable Professor Dr. Tilak Raj, President, Asian Criminological Society. Respected Professor Dr. N.K. Chakravarti, Vice Chancellor, NUJS, Kolkata. Respected Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal, Campus Director and Dean, NFSU, Gandhinagar. Respected Dr. Jagdish Chandra, Registrar, GNLU. Reverend faculty members, guests, research scholars, paper presenters, and my dear student participants. This is my great privilege and honor to technology and its impact on the criminal justice administration. Before I can start and give you a general understanding of how this conference will be and introduce this conference to you, I want to inform this August gathering that this conference is the inspiring proposition of our Honorable Director, Professor Dr. S. Shantakumar. He has conceptualized this conference and we got support from ACS and our partners, from our knowledge partners for this conference, Madras University, Gujarat Maritime University and NFSU. We are very, very thankful to all the knowledge partners for organizing this wonderful international conference. This 4 days long conference is aiming at various facets, which we will look towards the presentation that will be made in the form of papers. And as Sir has rightly mentioned, I would like to give the gathering information, the exact number that we are going to have more than 316 papers to be presented on the theme and sub-themes for the conference. We have more than 92 participants who will be vouching the conference, and I'm very proudly want to inform all of you that we are having representation not only from every state of this nation, but also from Sri Lanka, Australia, Malaysia, Bangladesh, inclusive of other countries. The resource persons for the conference are not only from the academics, but they are also presenting expertise from the clinical psychology, forensics, police department, and the various other interdisciplinary studies. I once again welcome all of you for a very wonderful stay at GNLU and in the vicinity of GNLU, and I wish all the success. I wish all the participants, paper presenters, a very, very best wishes from my side, and I hope that this conference will be a grand success with your cooperation, with your encouragement, and these days, these 3 days will be the most memorable days for you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the enlightening introduction. Now I would like to introduce our first guest, Professor Dr. R. Tilak Raj. Professor Dr. R. Tilak Raj is the President of Asian Criminology Society. He is the head of Department of Criminology and Director, Center for Cyber Forensics and Information Security at University of Madras. Earlier, he served as Senior Research Investigator in the National Institute of Social Defense. He possesses more than 30 years of teaching and research experience in the field of criminology and criminal justice administration. Professor Dr. Tilak Raj was the chairman of the Indian Society of Criminology and also founding member of the Asian Criminological Society, Macau. His area of interest are sociology of crime, juvenile justice, and correctional administration. I would humbly invite Professor Dr. R. Tilak Raj to please address the audience.
Honorable Chief Justice of Gujarat, Sri Arun Kumar ji, Honorable Justice N.V. Anjaria, other dignitaries on the dais, delegates of the conference. It is my prestige and privilege to participate in this 13th conference of the Asian Criminological Society. Really, we have been teaching criminology for almost 1967 in India, the criminology department was established in 3 universities: Sagar University, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka University, and Madras University. Since then, we have been teaching criminology, but what we teach is the Western criminology, not of our own. A felt need emerged that we have our own civilization, our own tradition, our own culture. We have to understand the problem of crime from the Asian perspective. Despite globalization and industrialization, fast growth, economic growth, in Asia, like in other parts of the world, still the crime rate is low. They wonder, how is it possible? You know, that the theories that could explain that industrialization, urbanization increase the crime rate, but that is not applicable to explain the crime rate in Japan. And recently we conducted a study, juvenile delinquent justice in Asian countries as a part of the program of the Asian Criminological Society. We found that in Asian countries very less we compared with the developed countries. So that there is a need to approach, to understand, to analyze the crime, the nature, the extent of crime in Asian countries from our own perspective. And keeping in mind that the Asian Society of Criminology was established in 2008 at Macau. We have conferences all over the Asian countries, and the last one we had at Japan, and this is the third one in India. The first one we organized in the Madras University, the second one at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and the third one here under the dynamic leadership of Professor Chandra Kumar. I am sure this conference will bring into light very, very useful findings, particularly the emerging criminologist. At the outset, I would like to thank Professor Chandra Kumar and his team of people in the Gujarat National Law Universities for organizing such a wonderful conference. I welcome on behalf of the Asian Criminological Society all the delegates here. Also, as a knowledge partner, I welcome as a professor at the Madras University. Again, I welcome as on the part of the Madras University Knowledge Department. I welcome you all for this conference. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening address. Now, I request all the dignitaries to kindly unveil the abstract book of the 13th Asian Criminology Conference. I would now like to introduce our next guest, Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal. Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal is the founding Dean of the School of Law, Forensic Justice and Policy Studies, National Forensic Sciences University, Gandhinagar. She specializes in the area of criminal justice studies and justice education. She has been a consultant and a resource person on various aspects of legal studies for the government as well as the non-government organizations. Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal was conferred with the Senior Socialist Scientist Award by the Indian Society of Criminology for her significant contribution in the field of criminology. She is a visiting faculty at University, Germany. and she is a resource person at various training programs, national and international conferences. I humbly request Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal to please address the gathering.
Good evening. Honorable Mr. Justice Shri Arvind Kumar, Chief Justice, High Court of Gujarat. Honorable Mr. Justice N.B. Anjaria, Judge, High Court of Gujarat. Respected Professor S. Shanta Kumar, Director, Gujarat National Law University. Professor N.K. Chakrabarti, Vice Chancellor, National University of Juridical Sciences, Kolkata. Professor Tilak Raj, the President of Asian Society of Criminology. Dr. Anjani Singh Tomar and Dr. Jagdish Chandra, Professor Bajpai, Professor Mehrajuddin Mir, Professor Bhaskaran, Professor Beulah Shekhar, the Chair Professor of Criminology with the National Institute of Forensic Sciences and Criminology, which is now the part of NFSU Delhi campus, all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I must compliment Professor S. Shanta Kumar to organize this 13th edition of the Asian Society of Criminology and making NFSU as a partner, as a co-organizer of this conference. The theme for this particular conference is very interesting because, as we all know, technology is penetrating everywhere. Technology has become the key driver of change and affecting the social life as well as the political life. And we have seen when it comes to the crime, we always say that the perception of crime changes from time to time. The same way, the commission of the crime, the ways and means of commission of crime also changes from time to time. And today we have seen, and especially during the COVID time, we have observed that there has been a significant rise on the crime that is particularly registered under the category of the cyber-related crime. So now the perpetrator of crime has resorted to a different kind of technologies, and at that point in time, how do we identify and investigate the crime with the help of technology, and how do we help the criminal justice system to strengthen its conviction rate is the most important aspects. We, as a part of the National Forensic Sciences University, has been committed, has been providing various kind of training, education, research, and consultancy services in these particular area. And I'm really honored to be the part of this conference. I, on behalf of our beloved Vice Chancellor, Dr. J.M. Vyas, welcome all of you as a co-organizer in this conference. As we all know, when it comes to the cybercrime investigation has become a key issues, and we need to prepare the champions of cybercrime investigation. At that point in time, NFSU is providing these kind of facilitations to all the investigating agencies. And on these occasions, as a part of the co-organizer of this conference, I invite all the participants who are here from different parts of the country and different parts of Asia to come and visit NFSU. I may request Professor Dr. Shanta Kumar, we can arrange a tour and a session of NFSU if it is feasible in the next 2 days. I, on behalf of NFSU and on behalf of the organizers, once again welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your remarkable address. I would now like to introduce our next guest of honor, Honorable Justice N.B. Anjaria, Judge, Gujarat High Court. His Lordship was born in 1965 at Ahmedabad into a distinguished family of judges and lawyers. He started his practice in the High Court of Gujarat from August 1988. He is an erudite scholar of law and contributed and conducted matters involving constitutional issue and all categories of civil, labor, and services matters. He also served as a standing counsel for the High Court and subordinate court. His Lordship was elevated as additional judge, High Court of Gujarat in 2011, and confirmed as a permanent judge in 2013. I would kindly invite Honorable Justice N.V. Anjaria to address the audience with his gracious words. Please welcome Honorable Justice Mr. N.V. Anjaria.
Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, the Chief Justice of High Court of Gujarat, and the chief guest of this function, Dr. Santha Kumar, Director of this institute, Professor Nirmal Chakravarti from West Bengal National University of Jurisdictional Sciences, Professor Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal, Dean School of Law, National Forensic Sciences University, Gandhinagar, Professor Dr. Tilak Raj, President, Asian Criminology Society, Dr. Ranjani Singh Tomar, and Mr. Jagdish Chandra, the Registrar. Also those sitting off the dais, the dignitaries, the faculty members, the students' friends, and the participants. It is my privilege to be here at this inaugural function of the 13th Asian Criminology Conference, jointly organized by the Asian Criminology Society and the Gujarat National Law University, amongst you dignitaries and academicians. Because of my association with the Gujarat National Law University in different capacity, I have developed a kind of affinity with this institution. Therefore, I am all the more delighted to be here. And linking such capacity, also take the opportunity to welcome our Honorable Chief Justice, who has graced the occasion by his maiden visit to this institute. Emerging trends in technology and its impact on law, criminal justice and public policy is the subject with sub-themes of this subject. I believe that there can't be more apposite subject than this in the prevalent technology-studded times. Law and legal systems are ultimately perceived as instruments of social engineering. They are designed to ensure the orderliness and discipline in the human activity of the society. The pattern of law and the legal systems have to undergo changes with the changing patterns in the activities, affairs, and development of the society. The technology, especially the software technology, has advanced leaps and bounds. Even the entire legal system and the stakeholders thereof have become concerned for technological advances, whether for better or worse. The technological advancement and the technological based crimes, which I would say the technology fueled crimes, have increased manifold. The frauds, the cyber crimes, the hacking, the creation of computer virus, malware, ransomware, pornography, cyber terrorism are all the new types of crime we have been witnesses day in, day out. All these occurrences shatter the rule of law. When these happenings are juxtaposed with the working of the legal system, we often find that the criminal elements are prone to become techno-savvy. The legal prescriptions often lag behind in dealing with the technology-based crimes. This is the real challenge in these technological-driven times. The repercussions in the criminal justice system are more than on any other branch of law. The legal system can be benefited by technology equipment in the matter of applying procedural law as well as substantive law. if I digress to an extent, to recollect certain technological initiatives introduced by our High Court and in the state judicial system, recounting them, they include the justice clock for live display statistics at the district level, facility for online payment and procurement of the court fees, auto filing of the bail applications, which have been recently introduced by my Lord the Chief Justice. There are also facilities extended in the jails for the jail inmates, whereby they can directly file the bail, parole or furlough applications from the jail itself. They can know immediately the status of cases. The quick communication of judgments of the courts helps the litigants to know the result of their cases immediately. The transmission of the bail orders soon after they are passed immensely helps the prisoners and convicts to avail them without delay the right to personal liberty. These are the positive sides of the technological advancement. In democracy, right to know and right to be informed are crucial. In the legal system, we have introduced, where the Gujarat High Court has been pioneer in live streaming the court proceedings. This live streaming facility provides the stakeholders the right to know and right to learn about the functioning of the courts. We are glad that we have been participant in using the technology in a positive way. The technology should not be allowed to have impact adverse on law, but should be utilized to energize the law and legal applications. These are the primary thoughts of mine on the subject, which I thought I should share with you. I am sure that the deliberations which would take place in this conference would churn out the bright side as well as the negative facets of the applications of technology. I wish you all the best, everybody, the participants, the organizers, and all those who will be faculty guiders. I thank again the GNLU and the director for providing me the opportunity to be part of this function. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Lordship, for the wonderful address. I would now like to introduce our next guest of honor, Professor Dr. Nirmal Kanti Chakrabarti. Professor Dr. Chakrabarti is the Vice Chancellor of the West Bengal National University of Juridical Sciences, Kolkata. Professor Dr. Nirmal Kanti Chakrabarti graduated from the University of Calcutta. Dr. Chakrabarti did his LLB, MA in Political Science and LLM in Tort and Crime from the University of Calcutta, and completed his PhD in the Administration of Criminal Justice in West Bengal. In 1996, he joined the University of Calcutta. He then went on to work as Director, School of Law, KIT University for 10 years before joining as the Vice Chancellor at the West Bengal National University of Juridical Sciences in 2019. I would kindly invite Professor Dr. Nirmal Kanti Chakrabarti to deliver his address to the audience.
Very good evening to all of you, dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Chief Justice Arvind Kumar, Honorable Justice Anjaria, my old friend, President of Asian Criminology Society, Professor Tilak Raj, Professor Purvi Pokharial, Dr. Shanta Kumar, the director of GNLU, and my old friend from last more than decade. We are trying to develop international legal education in the forum of International Association of Law Schools. Thank you, Santa, for inviting me to share some of my thoughts here. Other dignitaries, registrar, deans of the GNU and of the dais, learned many of distinguished professors, Professor Bajpai, Mirajuddin, Professor Lota, and others who are the faculties, researchers, as well as students and delegates. First of all, I will express my thanks to the organizer for choosing a subject, technology and its impact in the next few years in the criminal justice administration. It is already started in the country. In India, it is just very limited way, cautiously we have started it. But in USA and European countries, some aspects of technology, particularly artificial intelligence, is very much now in the research and its application in the administration of criminal justice. So without going to focusing all aspects of technology, I am trying to focus mainly on artificial intelligence, the emerging technology, how it can be used in our criminal justice administration, how it is being already started impact in criminal justice administration in the world today. Now to initiate that how AI also can be part of criminal justice administration, I can be allowed to start that we have already started more than 2-3 decades application of computer and various improved software in our administration of justice, either in protecting the victims or identifying the accused, and of course we know the forensic application of identifying the criminals. Now if we take AI as part of technology, basically we can divide the technology in the application of criminal justice broadly into two classifications. One is that we can say materially based or material based, and other is information based. Material based, which we can just say in the form of telecommunications, two-way radio communications. Starting with that, we came to ICT when internet gradually being incorporated in our communication system. But now which we are trying to introduce, and we have to, I think, introduce in our Indian criminal justice system like other countries, is AI. In AI or artificial intelligence, Again, we can see into two broad focusing areas where we can apply this AI. One is the preventive actions or activities of crime and criminals. Other is predicting the possible crime locations and criminals. Now, as regards the protective, you have all of us having experience in the CCTV surveillance. In almost all the metro cities and all the cities now, you can observe the most crowded areas, particularly where there are already instances of hot spots of accidents and rash driving. The CCTV is being installed. And I can tell you in Calcutta city, after installing these CCTVs in the most crowded and hot spots, the motor accident rash driving being reduced. Maybe there is a psychological impact. So this is one of the example where we can think of how ultimately we can use the preventive areas of AI applications. Similarly, we can think of the protective activities and ultimately reducing the crime risk. For that, AI, you know that through AI and machine learning process, there are possibilities of identifying trends. If a big data, say for example 10,000 data on last judgments on particular crime. Now one research study is being conducted on crime against women. 10,000 data is in the process in one project. They are trying to identify by applying AI the trends analysis, whereby the judges can have some idea about what are the trends in sentencing. In fact, it is an area where debate continued from, I think, last more than 3 decades or 4 decades with some research, that there are huge disparities in our sentencing. In same offense, within the state and even within the country, there are a lot of disparities, same type of offense, different type of punishment. So how we can minimize that disparity where equality is our fundamental rights? So for that, I think in the judicial use of discretion, there will be much help by AI-based research and that's predictive future analysis and its products and results will help us in our criminal justice administration also. Similarly, I think there would be not only the judiciary but even the lawyers also, the advocates also can take help of by 2 ways. One is that language processing, by language processing of the judgments where acquittal and where there is convictions and what classifications of various law applied. These 2 aspects can be also within the AI analysis, and by algorithm it can be some futuristic study, and I hope in India also within few years definitely it will have some impact. like in European countries and UK also, this AI applied things not only in other business aspects or our IPR, but in, I think, criminal justice also AI application will definitely, like other areas, would be part of our activities, day-to-day activities. But definitely there are causes or questions or challenges that this predictive table, is it valid? If some questions, some research already developed that there is a biasness of male-dominated manpower in the AI or computer use, and there would be a gender biasness also. But I think that also can be overcome. It is a challenge before the scientists and our researchers. For that, it is not that AI would be stopped for application in our criminal justice administration. Challenges are there. Ethical issues is definitely in all the countries where AI being started or initiated, this is being very much under debate, and how to minimize that, identifying the areas where there are chances of biasness or ethical issues, that to be identified. But for that, it is not that technology or AI would be stopped here. Like when our other technology came to our country, there are debate, doubts, but I think it is now over. And similarly, new technology AI also be applied in our country. But it is to be acknowledged that we have the lack of manpower and also the technological literacy in the administration of justice, including criminal justice administration. That's why Supreme Court, there is already a committee how to first develop the judicial manpower and the know-how of AI and other applications, which may help in our huge pending cases in the country. In the suggestions I have read by Sam Petrota, that all the pending cases we can classify, proper classification can be done by application of AI. That will help us to reduce our huge thousand or lakhs pending cases by identifying similar cases and maybe deciding in one sections. If there are 50 cases in one day, we can decide. That way we can reduce the pending cases. It is one of the way, it is not the only way, but it can help us. Similarly, I think our IT resources also to be invested. It is increasing, but it requires, particularly in the judiciary, the investment is required. And similarly, there is, I think, whenever we introduce any new thing, there will be resistance. That awareness and benefit advantages, that to be the task of our society, criminology society, our academics, institutions, to award the students, today's students, that it is to be accepted. You have to change your mind so that you can accept and use technology in our daily life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for those remarkable words. I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker for the 13th Asian Criminology Conference and our chief guest, Honorable Chief Justice Mr. Arvind Kumar. His Lordship has had a truly noteworthy journey in the legal field. He enrolled in the year 1987 as an advocate and appeared in civil courts, magistrate courts, appellate tribunals for about 4 years. He was appointed as additional central government standing counsel at High Court of Karnataka in the year 1999. He was appointed as member of Regional Direct Taxes Advisory Committee in the year 2002 and was later appointed as a standing counsel for Income Tax Department. He was also appointed as Assistant Solicitor General of India in the year 2005. For his exceptional contributions to the legal arena, his lordship was elevated as Additional Judge, High Court of Karnataka in 2008 and as Permanent Judge in 2012. He was appointed as Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court on 13th October 2021. I would humbly request Honorable Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, Mr. Arvind Kumar, to address the audience. We are immensely delighted to have you here, sir. Please welcome Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Arvind Kumar.
Very good evening to one and all. My esteemed brother, Honorable Justice N.V. Acharya, Dr. Shantakumar, Director GNLU, Dr. Anjani Singh Tomar, Dr. Tilagraj, Dr. Purvi Pokhriyal, Shri Harsh Ramesh, Professor Nirmal Kanti Chakrabarti, Dr. Jagdish Chandra, all the Vice Chancellors, Directors, faculty members, staff of GNLU, teaching faculty of GNLU, my dear students, friends from print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. On my way from High Court to GNLU, I received a telephone call from my daughter. She said she wanted to speak to me. I said I am going for some function. She said, which function? I told her I am going to address some college students, and of course the professors are there, doctors, all research scholars. She said, if the students are more, don't eat their head. So make your speech short. And I am being told by this program list, my time is only for 15 minutes. But I can eat into another 5 minutes because the earlier speaker concluded his speech 6 minutes earlier. Be that as it may. First, at the outset, let me congratulate every student of GNLU for having organized this function. Special emphasis is on the students because of this reason. I have also practiced as a lawyer for 22.5 years. So as a lawyer, I was one of the founding members of one of the organization called Lahari. I was just sharing that experience with some of the professors. It was a socio-cultural organization of an advocates, and I was also part of that. We were also training advocates for being appointed as munsifs, civic judges, and apart from conducting several seminars and all. And our main aim in the beginning was to conduct moot court competition. I was very young at that time. I had just put in about 2.5 years of practice as a lawyer. So I had more time to spend my time with these activities. We used to come at 7 o'clock to the venue, including wiping the floor, organizing everything, and sitting sometime as a master of ceremony. And at the end in the evening, we used to invite one sitting or retired High Court judge as guest of honor. And we used to put our only one coat and sit on the dais. We used to feel elated to be with the part of the program, sitting with an honorable judge. So I personally know what is the difficulty of students who would be organizing this, and not forgetting Professor Shantakumar, who have taken a lot of pains to organize this function, and I heartily congratulate you for having selected a wonderful subject. These types of conferences are very much required for two reasons. This is called where Chintan and Manthan both takes place. The learned teachers, professors, scholars, vice chancellors with a rich experience of academics, they will be able to share their thoughts. That is why in Article 51A, when you speak of, everyone speaks nowadays only speak of fundamental rights, forgetting about their fundamental duties. One of the fundamental duties is try to excel in every field, whatever field we may be. So it is the teachers who make a citizen of this country, who can contribute well to the welfare of the state. So the first and foremost is I bow to every teacher here who is present before this august audience. That is why it is said in Sanskrit, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. You are the embodiment of all the three gods, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. And coming to the students, it is not easy. We did not find so difficult during our days to study. Ours was easy going. We used to study and also play. Now here you study, except study you don't seem to concentrate on any other extracurricular activities. But I wish that you have that also, and I was told by Shant Kumar that there are a lot of extracurricular activities at GNLU. Why I said this was, there is one Subhashita in Sanskrit. It is said, it goes like this: Artha Turana na guru na bandhu. Artha Turana, when you want to earn money, no guru, no bandhu, no relatives. You think of only money. You know that Bugs Bunny caricature, you see it closes its eyes on the eyelids. On one side it will be pounds and other side it will be dollars. So they think only of money. Shudha Turana na pakwa na ruchi. When you are hungry, many a times you might have experienced, you go home, suddenly you feel you are very hungry. Your mother, she keeps it on the dining table, you eat. First and second time, third time you feel salt is not there. Why did you not realize this in the first and second one? Because you are concentrating on hunger. So na pakwa na ruchi. You don't think of anything, it should be very good. And kama turana na lajja na bayam. The man or the person who is after pleasures, it can be any pleasure. He is not bothered about the respect he may lose in the society. He goes on with his activities. Now coming to the most important, it is applicable to the students. Vidya Turana, if you want to acquire knowledge, if you want to learn, if you want to study, if you want to make a mark by yourself, na nidra, na sukham. No getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning, not going to bed at 9:30 in the night. You have to work hard. This is the stage, time where you have to work hard to acquire knowledge. And this forum of attending these such programs, the conferences, you enrich your knowledge. So every student should participate in such type of programs, not necessarily those who are participating only for this specific purpose. Even other students who may not be directly involved in this conference are also required to participate, because you get knowledge from different angles. Now turning my attention to the core issue, that is the subject on hand. I can just share it with you, all of you, that it is not the it is not only, it is said law can never be static. It takes its color and it takes its shape depending upon the terrain it travels. That is why law is called as crystallized common sense. What is today law need not be law tomorrow. What was not law yesterday will become law tomorrow. This is what the magic of law is. The subject you have chosen at this conference is criminology conference, and I am told that there is one of the subjects, emerging trends in technology, if I am not wrong, and its impact on law, criminal justice and public policy. We are all aware of the law of nature called law of obsolescence. This law ordains that everything is going to wane day by day and it would one day become extinct or even non-existent. Any new product invented, howsoever innovative it might be, spectacular, one day it comes to an end. For any technology, more than the time-based age, the advent of new technology triggers the rapid obsolescence, coupled with advent of new technology in hitherto uncharted territories of life and society, which have enormous impact on the society and the world at large, with potential to shape and reshape the behavior, living standards, lifestyle, and the life itself. The impact of such rapidly evolving and emerging technology has been so far reaching that a new adjective for such technology has been put in use. It is called as disruptive. A disruptive technology is one that displaces an established technology and shakes up the industry on a groundbreaking product that creates completely new industry. Harvard professor Clayton M. Christinen coined the term disruptive technology. Although the word disruptive may appear to be negative, not all the technologies categorized are negative technologies. They have been termed as disruptive in the sense that they destabilize the seemingly settled and permanent technologies and establish newly radically fast and efficient ways of doing the same even thing with their advent. The advent of computer it was thought it was only the few privileged when it came in the primitive stage. But I can tell you, friends, that ICT, that is information and communication, has changed the world, reducing it to a global village. And it reaches homes of the public at large. Now the word citizen got a counterpart called netizen, thanks to the creation of the global village. Being part of justice delivery system, let me further share with you. One of the honorable speakers spoke about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has made such inroads that today in Supreme Court all matters are to be translated and listed before the honorable benches. Most of the matters where the depositions, evidence are being recorded or the judgments being written will be either in the local languages. So to list the matter itself was consuming a lot of time. The Honorable Supreme Court had constituted a committee called Artificial Intelligence Committee, and there they evolved through the assistance of NIC, National Informatics Center, what is known as SUFACE, where 9 languages of the country, as on today, you can translate it within 1 second. If you give one sheet of paper, within 30 seconds, the translated English version will come. The accuracy is to the extent of 100%. So now the Honorable Speaker was concentrating more on the investigation aspect and bunching of the matters and disposal of the cases. So I would like to put some food for thought for your consideration in this conference. Just think over, brood over, discuss. If you can come out with any solution, probably this conference may be a game changer so far as disposal of the cases are concerned. I will just share my little native intelligence with you as to what you can think of. For instance, by using artificial intelligence, many cases can be disposed of. Now let us concentrate. The highest number of cases throughout the country, in every high court, every district, every taluka, is motor vehicle cases. Accident, that is called motor accident cases. It can be classified as number one, death case, where there is a death on account of a road traffic accident. Two, it is case of grievous injuries. Three, simple injuries. This is insofar as the claimants are concerned. Insofar as insurance companies are concerned, it can be categorized as two categories. One is where there is no dispute with regard to the issuance of policy. In other words, as on the date of accident, the policy issued to the offending vehicle being in force or vogue, and the insurance will not say, I will not pay the compensation. The second one is where there is no insurance at all. So now let us forget that last category for a moment and take up the other four categories. From amongst the other four categories, let us take a case of simple injury. Case of fracture of radius, mandible bone, clavicle bone, or any fibula, tibula, femur. Simple fracture, he would be in hospital for 1 or 2 days. The compensation that may be required to be paid, approximately, I am giving you a hypothetical example. Let us take it, it's 1 lakh. Loss of income for about 2 months because he or she could not go to attend the office. Whatever the income is lost for the 2 months. Food and nourishment, hospital charges, surgery if any, small surgery. So all this put together, let us take it as 1 lakh. To adjudicate this case, and on average it may take 2 to 3 years at the first level. Then the aggrieved party, either the insurer or the claimant, they come to the High Court, say about 50%. So out of 100 cases, 50 cases again come to the High Court. Again it gets clogged. So this way the arrears build up insofar as motor vehicle cases are concerned. Can you not think of the medical records are available? Now for this case, many cases, small injuries or simple injuries, doctors will not come and give evidence. So it is based purely on documentary evidence, that is the medical certificate. You would have assessed and said, on account of this, his whole body disability is 2%. So now we will have to calculate the loss of income. Suppose he is earning 10,000 rupees. So it is 10,000 into 2 into 12 months divided by quotient 100. It comes around 27,000 or 37,000, whatever it is. Everything is ready. Medical record is available. To start with, simple injuries, cannot the algorithm be fixed by use of artificial intelligence, so that at least in a court or in a state, about 25,000 cases in a year can be disposed of by this. If you think by using this artificial intelligence it can be disposed of, why not? So that is why I said at the beginning that it can be a game changer. This conference can be a game changer for the whole country. So come out with something innovative. Think out of the box. Here both the technological people as well as the legal fraternity, teaching faculty, everyone should put their heads together to take out something good out of this Chintan and Manthan. So I want every one of you to think of this and try to evolve something good so that it will be of benefit to the society at large. Another 5 minutes, I will be just concluding. Simultaneously, I feel that we should also, there is a need to strengthen our regulatory framework in the area of usage of drones and the purposes for which such instruments are capable of doing many unprecedented and unthought of actions. Now we are in this arena, time of driverless cars. Much hyped and awaited innovations by all of us, although yet to see in the light of the day in our country, and which I am told will be shortly, it will be there, would surely put many of the laws gasping for breath or fresh breath in order to keep pace with the times. The challenges are yet to be successfully tackled by the legal framework in making itself prepared to deal with unforeseen and unprecedented complications of law, ethics, morality to be created by the advent of human cloning, if and when it comes to be around. All these legal challenges are over and above of already pending challenges in dealing with various types of cyber crimes and abysmal rate of success in bringing the culprits to the books. Let us put ourselves some few questions. Number one, are our police investigation machineries ready and equipped to face the onslaught of the violations of yet to be evolved laws? 2. Are our forensic science laboratories having the requisite infrastructure to analyze the forensic evidence of the aforesaid uncharted scientific like advancements of technology? Are our courts and judicial officers sufficiently trained and equipped with requisite infrastructure to appreciate such evidence and efficiently adjudicate upon the questions of fact and law arising out of the matrix of above disruptive technologies and the laws to be customized to regulate them? Think of these three questions, try to delve upon them and try to give us some feedback. We all know that time impacts laws of land, and hence law has to keep evolving and adjusting to the new trends of life and society. Rapidly changing technology and thereby life and society have posed challenges. The silver lining that I see is the duel between the law and the technology is not only the relationship between these two seemingly adversarial opponents, as there is also a positive contributory alliance between the two. As the law culminates into execution, implementation and interpretation at the hands of executive and judiciary, both of these organs of the governance have started using technology extensively in respective domains. Technology has been remarkably augmenting the process of justice delivery system. Here I may quote, recently my brother said about justice clock. We introduced that when I was the chairman of the E-committee at Karnataka. I introduced there, so I thought I will bring it here also, and we introduced here. We brought it at first in the High Court entrance, you can see. Every minute, 24/7, 365 days, as to how many cases, what are the types of cases, in which district, which taluka, including the High Court, how many cases are disposed of, how many cases are pending. It is available in public domain. So this, coupled with that, we recently started one more innovative app, what is known as email my case status. Suppose an individual or a firm or a company or an institution is having up to 100 cases. They can log into our free app, log in their number, you get one-time OTP, generate it, and once you get logged in and feed how many cases you have got. Suppose you have got 16 cases at different courts in state of Gujarat, different districts, Mehsana, Junagadh, Kutch, Bhuj, Nadiad, all these places, anywhere, 33 districts, including Ahmedabad city and rural. You feed these 16 cases. You may forget, but automatically our server gives you the feedback the moment that case comes up before the court. And you will know what is the status, what happened today. And this we have introduced in state of Gujarat. Shortly we will be introducing what is known as e-traffic courts. There are 3 states in the country which they have already introduced. This e-traffic courts is e-challans which are being issued. Sometimes you see most of the now, everyone has got mobile number. Just imagine this. By use of technology, how it can completely change various other level playing fields. For instance, in a traffic court, we get about 200 challans in every court per day. That means about 200 cases are posted. Out of that, about 125 to 150 persons who are the violators, they come to the court to pay the fine. We might be one of them. Unknowingly, they jumping the signal, crossing the zebra line. These are all some of the small petty offences. So for that, you will have to go to the court to pay 200 or 300 or 500 or 1000 rupees fine. So what you do, you either, if you are working, you will take off on that day. So you think that let me finish this, let me apply for a leave and go for one day and pay the fine and come back. For your misfortune, on that day the presiding officer is on leave. So your leave will go waste. Again you will have to apply some other day. Or if you are working professional, you will have to go to the court. There is no other option. Look at the amount of traffic you are contributing. You are going to the court from your residence or you are from office to the court. Every day 125 to 150 people for one court. In each city there may be about 10 to 12 courts. Look at the amount of traffic congestion we are contributing. To avoid all this, we are introducing these e-traffic courts where you can sit at home. After you have your dinner, everything you are free. 11 o'clock, take out your phone and find, yes, there is one challan. You can go to the courtroom, e-traffic court, and automatically by artificial intelligence, now we have done it, you will get the fine as to how much fine. Would you like to pay the fine? If you say yes, it will say, this is the fine. 200 rupees, 300 rupees. You can file your pay either by credit card or by debit card, and you need not go anywhere, and you get the challan then and there itself on your mobile within hardly about 1.5 to 2 minutes. So this e-traffic courts, is it not a way of reducing the pendency of the cases and also the congestion of traffic and the person who moves from his residence or office to the court? All this is saved. So this is one another innovative we have thought of, which will be introduced in shortly. All this including the emerging trends of how technology can be made use of, are the subjects which you will have to delve upon in this conference. And I would say that this conference would be leading to all of us to ponder over this intellectually stimulating crossroad of the questions. The two key questions are, which are the areas which are existing laws are out of sync or trailing behind the contemporary technologies, and two, which are the areas where technology can further significantly augment the efficiency of criminal justice processes in general and investigation and prevention in particular. I expect that the brainstorming sessions that is being undertaken in this conference will lead to the enlightenment as to how best the criminal justice system can cope with the challenges posed by the technology-based crimes, especially those which are committed against women and children. We also need to address the technology faced by the officers of police and judiciary in investigating, trying, and adjudicating the evidence associated with technology-based crimes. I wish all the success to this conference and also look forward to some of the documents that may come out as a result of this conference for the benefit of judicial officers and police officers, for enabling them to become future proof. I would like to conclude with yet another Sanskrit Subhashita. It reads, I quote, Swagrahe pujyate murkaha, Swagrame pujyate prabhu, स्वदेशे पूज्यते राजा विद्वान सर्वत्र पूज्यते. Swagramye पूज्यते मूर्खाय. An ordinary person, though it says fool, I don't use the word, person with less sense, he is respected at his home. Swagrame पूज्यते प्रभु. A village chief is respected in his village. Swadeshe पूज्यते raja. King is respected in the country. Vidwan sarvatra पूज्यते. A learned man is respected everywhere. And I know GNLU will produce only Vidwan, and I want every student to be a scholar under the tutelage of the scholarly persons who are present in this conference, both online, and I am told there are offline also. Some of the officers, some of the intellectual cream of the world are joining you through virtual mode. So I wish all of you the very best. Don't get disturbed but by the end result. Sometimes you may not get result. Lastly, I would just like to remind ourselves of what happened. You know Thomas Alva Edison? Most of you might have heard. He is the one who found out that tungsten for that bulb. So one day when he was conducting research in the lab, one of his students came and said, "Sir, I am fed up, from tomorrow I am not coming." He said, "Why?" He said, "Sir, this is our 1126th metal which we have tested and we have failed." Why I am telling you is you should always be optimistic. Don't be negative. Think positively. So immediately Thomas Alva Edison said, "Look here, my dear friend, young friend, you are a research scholar. Don't get disheartened. Now you know, out of 1126 metal, we cannot manufacture this tungsten. So what cannot be done, you have understood. Now let us look forward." That is how you should always think positive. Be positive. Life itself is positive. Don't get disheartened by small aberrations in the life. These are all part and parcel of life. You are all youngsters. You have got a long way to go. I wish every one of you all the best. May God bless you with everything. And I wish this conference a very good success. And I said, as I said in the beginning, I want this result of this 3-day conference to be a game changer, at least for India. And with this, I take leave of you. Thank you, friends, for giving me an opportunity to be part of it. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Your Lordship, for the exceptional address. As the inaugural ceremony of the 13th Asian Criminology Conference comes to a closer, I would now respectfully invite Dr. Jagdish Chandra TG, Registrar, Gujarat National Law University, to kindly propose a vote of thanks to the participants and the dignitaries present here.
Student convener of this conference, kindly Ashika Jain, can you please come? Honorable Justice Sri Arvind Kumar, Chief Justice Gujarat High Court, Honorable Justice Sri N.V. Anjaria, High Court of Gujarat, Honorable Director Professor Shanti Kumar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Nirmal Kant Chakravarti, NUJS Kolkata, Professor Tilikaraj, respected President, Asian Criminological Society, Professor Puri Prakriyal, respected Dean, School of Law, Forensic Justice and Policy Studies, NFSU, Gandhinagar, respected Head, Academic Affairs, Dr. Anjali Singh Tomar, Organizing Committee, faculty members of the Organizing Committee, student members of the Organizing Committee, faculty colleagues, invited guests, administrative staff members, participants. It is my honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion of 13th Asian Criminology Conference organized by Gujarat National University jointly with Asian Criminological Society and National Forensic Science University. So on this occasion, I would like to firstly, on behalf of Gujarat National University, I profusely thank our Honorable Chief Justice Sri Arvind Kumar, Chief Justice Gujarat High Court, for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion with his presence. And sir, I wanted to share my friend Anand Hogade, he is sitting judge of Hassan High Court. He worked under you, and he told me actually when you taken the charge as Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, the same, and I was waiting for the opportunity actually, sir. So he told many things about you. Today I experienced, I am very much thankful to you for this, sir, for joining this. And he spoke about me, that what all the changes you have brought in Karnataka. So same thing you also initiated here. So definitely the entire public at large will benefit from your initiative. So thank you so much for all your constant efforts in terms of bringing changes in the Gujarat High Court. Thank you so much, sir. My gratitude to our Honorable Justice Sri N.V. Anjaria, Honorable Judge, High Court of Gujarat, for having spent his valuable time with us. He is our governing council, executive council. So I would also like to thank him because of two reasons. Firstly, for definitely gracing this occasion, but also as a member of executive council, although we have conducted 3 meetings as a member of, and we invited him, all the 3 years pending cases we disposed because of his guidance. It was long pending cases in Gujarat National University because of his guidance, support, and we were able to dispose all the pending cases. We are very much thankful to you, sir, for all your guidance. Thank you very much. My heartfelt gratitude to Professor Tilikaraj, President, Asian Criminological Society, for actually giving this opportunity to GNLU, to organizing this conference and all your support, sir. Thank you very much. My sincere thanks to Professor Nirmal Kanti Chakravarti, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion with your presence, sir. So, and also especially highlighting the importance of artificial intelligence in law, how it helps in terms of reducing backlog of cases. So thank you very much for the enlightening speech, sir. Thank you very much. So I would like to express my sincere thanks to Professor Purvi Prakriyal, Dean School of Law and Policy Studies, NFSU. Whenever there is a conference happened in NFSU, she always ensures that GNLU will be part of that conference. Similarly, she is today with us now, having knowledge partner with Gujarat National University. Thank you very much, madam, for all your support, constant guidance to GNLU. So I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Director, Professor Shanti Kumar. I would like to tell a very important thing, who has been definitely the main pillar of strength and whose advice and compassionate towards academics, university academics, faculty members, staff members and students. So that really helped all of us to take any kind of initiatives with a larger scale. So that is how he is always think about faculty members, always think about academics and students, and wholeheartedly he'll give all support. I am very much thankful to you, sir, for all your support. So my sincere thanks to Dr. Anjali Singh Tomar, Head Academics, being the organizing secretary of this conference. despite of her really busy schedule as a academics, managing academic affairs, she also ensures all things related to conference was actually not missed anything, and she able to guide with all organizing committee, student members and faculty members to organize this, to make this conference grand success. So thank you very much, madam. So I would like to also extend my sincere thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Bajpai, Vice Chancellor of RGNLU, for gracing this occasion. So thank you very much, sir. And I also would like to extend my sincere thanks to my teacher and my principal, Professor Mallikarjunayya. I am the part of alumni of Kaili Society's Law College when he was the one who was actually principal of this college during that time. Today he is with us. I am very much thankful to you, sir, for all whatever. Today I am here because of definitely our teachers who taught us in Kaili Law College. I could recall a few names still. Professor Nagaratna Madam, Chandrasekhar sir, Jagdish Mundrage sir, Dhanlakshmi Madam, Anita Madam, all those guidance today, whatever I am today, I am very much thankful to you, sir, for accepting and coming here. Thank you very much. So I also would like to heartfully express my sincere thanks to all the faculty colleagues who are actually coming here and sitting here. Always their guidance and support will be always strength for all of us for organizing any kind of conference. Thank you very much for all the faculty members. I also extend sincere thanks to all the, especially participants who have come from different parts of the country, not only for India but also for abroad. And the entire hall is full. It's really good evening in terms of having an inauguration session in the conference hall in the Aura Auditorium. So I'm very much happy to all of you. So I hope all of you will be having enriching sessions in coming 3 days, and I hope you will enjoy the occasion. I also extend my sincere thanks to all the administrative staff members, technical team, and more importantly, all the organizing student members who are tirelessly worked for this conference to make this conference more grand success. So thank you so much. Thank you one and all. Yeah, I am very sorry. The mainly faculty members of the organizing committee, Dr. Saira Gori Madam, and Dr. Mary Sport, and other faculty colleagues, TRS, research staff who are directly involved in organizing this conference. For nearly 2 months preparation they made. So I am very much thankful to all of them. Thank you very much, Maris and Sara Gori Madam. I am very much thankful to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your affirmative words. With this, we have come to the culmination of the inaugural ceremony. Last but not the least, I humbly request all the dignitaries, faculty and staff members, organizing team members and participants to please proceed for the dinner at Grand Mercury. I also request all the participants and students to please remain on your seats till all the honorable dignitaries proceed outside the auditorium. Thank you, namaskar and good night.